With their flights cancelled and travel plans upended, people took to Twitter to express disappointment with Go First. The company shocked everyone on Tuesday by grounding its fleet till May 5th and approaching the National Company Law Tribunal for voluntary insolvency. The Wadia Group-owned airline was facing a cash crunch resulting from the grounding of nearly half its 57 aircraft. But why were almost half of Go First's planes grounded? The airline has blamed engine manufacturer Pratt & Whitney for it. In a statement, the company said that it had to take the tough decision due to the ever-increasing number of failing engines supplied by Pratt & Whitney. It said that the percentage of grounded aircraft due to its faulty engines had grown to 50% in December 2022 from 31% a year ago. As a result, its flights were cut almost by half in the past 1 year. Go First said the groundings had resulted in a revenue loss and additional expenses of 10,800 crore rupees. Go First also said that Pratt & Whitney had refused to comply with an award issued by an emergency arbitrator that directed the latter to dispatch a number of serviceable spare leased engines to the airline in tranches by December 2023. It added that if Pratt & Whitney were to comply with the orders in the award, Go First would be able to return to full operations by August or September 2023. Against this backdrop, are more flight cancellations likely?
Do I foresee further cancellations? Absolutely, yes. Because you have to understand that under any aircraft lease agreements, the minute you have an airline which goes into an insolvency mode, it allows the lessors to immediately terminate their lease agreements and get the aircraft back.
While Go First's domestic market share stood at 6.9% in March, it had still been flying around 200 flights and carrying up to 30,000 passengers daily during the past few days. With Go First grounded, India now has 12 airlines that flyers can opt for domestic travel. Compare this to the 43 scheduled passenger airlines China has and the 63 in the US. Overall, customer choice will be somewhat restricted. But what will be the impact on flight ticket prices?
It is going to be a temporary blip in a long-term fare stabilization. What is going to be interesting? This provides a lifeline now to SpiceJet or airlines which are, let's say, like SpiceJet or TrueJet, who have been trying to look at expanding, Akasa, which have been trying to look at expanding. That gives them a little bit maneuverable flexibility, specifically with slots out of key airports. So, you will be able to really fill in the capacity fairly quickly. So, would you see a significant rise in fares? No. Would you see a temporary rise in fare? Maybe about 6-7%.
But there is an alternate view regarding fares too.
The future fate of Go Ahead depends and begins and ends with what Pratt & Whitney is willing to support. Right now, it makes no sense for Go Ahead to change the engine option to go for something else, like at least Indigo managed to do, because 90% of Go Ahead's revenue fleet is the Neo. And let me be very clear, if Go Ahead goes under, we're looking at direct impact to the Indian traveler, where the cost of travel is not only just going to go up, but is going to be so out of reach that we're actually going to eventually shrink the air travel market, where by force travelers will have to resort to rail travel.
We will have to wait and watch which direction fares head towards in the coming days. For its part, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has issued a show cause notice to Go First for non-intimation about flights cancelled on May 3rd and 4th. But has the regulator been proactive enough in the case of Go First?
The government and its machinery should have stepped up and supported Go Air or taken up their matter and their cause with Pratt & Whitney and also with the US government and the FAA. The DGCA can't always play the Daroga Saab and the Turumkan attitude in such cases. The DGCA needs to start supporting the industry as well as support the airline. And I still don't understand what result does the DGCA want to get by issuing a show cause notice to Go Air. I mean, the writing is on the wall. They knew about this engine issue for the last 5 years.
Shares of Interglobe Aviation, which operates the country's biggest low-cost airline, Indigo, hit a 52-week high, surging 8% on the BSE in May 3rd's intraday trade, while those of SpiceJet and Jet Airways rallied 6% and 5%, following the insolvency plea by Go First. Its rival airlines will now look to gain its market share. Against this backdrop, what will Go First's troubles mean for the aviation sector? And could a duopoly be its future?
What I see actually is any of these airlines which are expanding, which could be a Casa or Star Air, and that's why I'm saying watch out for Star Air, because I think with this opportunity coming in, I think we can look at probably an up gauge of some of the aircraft in these smaller players. And I think it would relatively still be a 70-30 market. 70% will still be controlled by the top two guys, and the 30% is where everyone else will be playing around. The 70% is going to be between the Air India group and the, Tata's with the Air India, Vistara, and all of them together. So I'll call them as a Tata group. So it is going to be between Tata Group and Indigo. These are the two guys who will control 70% of the market.
Go First has moved a US court to enforce the Singapore International Arbitration Commission's order against Pratt & Whitney. And after it filed for insolvency, Union Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia said the government had been assisting the airline in every possible manner. This may leave some room for a recovery, but things look grim for Go First at present.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.